Hi, I'm back. It's been a while. In this video, yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss another one, even if it does take a little bit of a while. But what I got here and what I want to show you is how to inexpensively make your front sight pop, so you have a high visibility sight that you can rely on, even in low light. Not total blackness, but low light. You'll be able to pick it up a lot easier when you choose the right color. A lot of people like green and red, and those aren't really the best colors for high visibility, in fog and in the dusk hours, in the morning hours. You want something that's going to work with, your eyewear. If you're driving a car, you don't want to be wearing sunglasses when you have to run out and handle business. Or what have you want the maximum advantage. So to demonstrate what I'm talking about, if you have no clue, is I have different colors here, and these are nail polish, like a purple, some kind of a aqua green or teal. There's like a metal flake, reddish purple, maybe white, and this stuff here is the neon pop. This can be bought at Walmart. That's where I got it from. To really make this stand out, you're going to want a white base to lay it onto, especially if the surface is really dark, like black. It's not a whole lot. It's gonna like shadow into the color, and it's not going to be as bright. And you want it to be as bright as possible. So when you have your driving glasses on, which are probably going to compromise your vision, so you want something that's like red or like an orange amber or even orange, because this is what happens. Do you see how this color here just glows? This one's white, and these two here come out pretty good. But when you look closer in the lens, you can tell that this is a really bright color. Really bright. Like, that's what you want. So this is kind of a GI model here that I put together from spare parts. It's very reliable, and I've omitted a lot of the problems that a lot of military people have with these that have a lot of experience, such as hammers breaking, and they do break. The less weight you have back here, you won't get stress fractures at the neck. And you notice a lot of the modern 1911 type stuff, they have like a hole in the hammer spur, so they can reduce the mass. So that doesn't happen, because if you have a heavy mass smacking back here with the internal extractor, these parts move forward when this hammer comes down on there. And that trauma, it really works it. It works the extractor, and you can lose tension that way. It's not the most advanced extractor, and it's very delicate. And there's probably a lot of people that argue with me, things been around for so long, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, when these pins start to wear right here, they wear because when this hammer hits the slide, and depending on where the slide's at, when it hits it, it's going to create some kind of trauma here and on the other side of the pin, and they wear loose. And eventually your sear will start to show some pretty crazy wear, and you'll have like an hourglass wear pattern on your hammer hooks if your hammer is kind of soft, if it's not tempered right. But yeah, so it looks funny. I'll give you that. But it was a really cheap build. Took a while. This is like a Duracoat. It's an ugly Duracoat. Looks more like an old stove, because it was like more towards the end of the can. I ran out of it, and I had to use leftover stuff. stuff laying around, and that's what I came up with. Man, it's ugly. But it does the job well, and it's very reliable. Trust my life to it. But we're going to make sure that it's unloaded because we don't want to have any accidents here. Because even though it's a front sight, there might be a round in there. There's no magazine, but we're almost there. Let's check her out. Oh, look at that. There's nothing in there. It's what we want. And you can see light down the barrel. Some people like to stick their finger in there. Bad idea. Because if this guy goes forward, it's going to hurt. You might drop your gun. I know it sounds stupid, but sort of sticking your finger in there. But a lot of cops and military guys will do that. A lot of people that try to teach you firearm safety and stuff, they actually think that's safe going like this. Like that's really safe. Ka-chunk? Yeah, that's not safe at all. But anyway, it's clear. And yeah, you get a little disconnector here, and this causes a lot of slide hang problems. And you don't want that thing to be short. You know, you want it to be nice and long, but that just goes to show you have to slingshot it every time you have it locked back and you want to load it. You don't want to be using this. I know a lot of people think for speed shooting, oh yeah, seconds matter, but dumping rounds in a target's not ideal. Hitting and run is kind of where it's at for defensive purposes. You're not going to stand there and wait for it to happen. You're just trying to get out of a situation, not get into one. So a lot of times they'll teach you to do some really bad things, and that's really terrible. Using your slide release, because you can catch the disconnector. It can hang. This one's quite long. That's exactly where it needs to be. You can see the track there for those that know what I'm talking about. But you don't want to be doing this, especially not on an empty, because when this guy goes forward, there we go, all the trauma goes right here, right to the bushing. And these things rip off in time. I've seen it happen, but I've got more than 20 years experience with this type of firearm. Hopefully it doesn't happen to you. Well, if you don't, probably won't ever happen to you, but if you buy a used gun, you really don't know. So anyway, getting back to the site, there's some helpful tips for you guys. You're watching YouTube. I find this entertaining. There we go. I want to get some of this stuff on here. There we go. Acetone. That's all you need. You want to get the grease off. Just like that. Put it on there. Because it's really hard to see what you're doing here. So look at that. Black on black. Wow, man. Got to lay out the coffee. So, now that that's clean, we need a base to make that color come out. We don't want to shade it out. We want it as bright as possible. So, what we're going to do here. Whoa, that's still an awful lot on there. Don't need that much. Just want to wet it. Still a lot. There we go. Pull a dab right there. That's all you need. Just wet it. And, you want it so that you cover the area like that. Actually, I'm running off the side a little bit. I'm a little sloppy. I'm going to take that off with some acetone. There we go. There we go. Just want to get that off from there. Use the other side. Help reduce it a little bit. Actually, I might want to take that off. It didn't lay down very well. I kind of had it a little bit too runny, and it's not very helpful. So let me try this again. Whoa. Yeah, this bottle's supposed to make it easy for people to do their fingernails, but as you can see, it's not really I don't know if you can see it. I took it away from the camera. There we go. A little bit right there. Alright, let's get this done. So I'm coming over here. Try to get some of that off there. There we go. It's still lightening up a little bit. Just like that. Acetone takes a lot of stuff off. And you don't want it to remove your finish. There's a lot of people that put a big deal into their finishes. You know, Cerakote, whatever. It just has to be clever to prevent rust and helps the oil kind of get around. This coating is really terrible. This is not the best I've ever done when painting a gun. It's basically what it is. It's paint. Not my best work, but it doesn't have to be. It just has to do what it's supposed to do. You know, and then you can practice with it and get really good. And then people are like, oh, how do you even see those sites? They're so little. Well, you're not going to worry about that now. You're going to see them real good. Put this white stuff on here. I'll make sure it's not too runny. Well, you can tell it kind of like blended with the color there. So just going to wet her just like that. Try to get it in there. That looks like I'm kind of over. There we go. It's a little globby. It's not the best stuff, but it's cheap and you can redo it as many times as you need to get it where you want it to be. You know, and if you don't like the color, then you can change it. See, when I'm wiping this way, am I still kind of acetone on there? No, I don't have acetone on. You wipe her this way. You're bringing it towards the back of the sight so you can keep your crispy profile. So you can't really see that quite so good yet. But we want that to kind of settle down. And now we're going to put this on here before it totally dries. And the trick is just before, or right when it skins, meaning that the surface tension's present on the white that we just laid on. This will actually adhere on top of that, and it'll make like a really good bond and bring the two together. That's kind of where we want it at. So see how that white comes out like that? Wow, man, I gotta lay out the coffee. Ooh-wee. Just like that. Clean off that, lay her down. So that's what we have. See that? Isn't it beautiful? You can tell that just shows up really good. Think you can find that now? Little bitty sight. Let's get her on the paper. Yeah, it glows pretty good. So when you get your little glasses out there, whoa, look at that. Look at that. Oh, so bright. So bright. Yeah, there it is, guys. Just let her dry. And then go ahead and practice. And don't mind if you have an ugly gun, you know, just like me. It doesn't matter as long as it does what it's supposed to do. And you're totally happy with it. And the hammers and the bushings don't break off. Yep. Alright guys, I'm going to lay this down. You guys have a good day, and stay tuned for other videos that are quick and easy, and they won't break your bank, and be more spot on to the truth of the matter instead of trying to sell you guys stuff you know, trying to give you guys false hopes and, you know, and all that. So that right there is really cheap. It's just nail polish. It's white and neon pop right there. Whoops. I gotta tighten that lid up. You won't even spend $10. Well, maybe if you get acetone, it'll probably cost you $10 for all three. But don't like it, you can always change it. And 1911s always shoot to the right. So even if you do spend an awful lot of money on your sights, what happens is the barrel over time of being, you know, in battery, spring going forward, this barrel is so thin, it wants to take a relaxed set. It just wants to take it easy, you know. Everybody that's been overworked likes to relax a little bit. So what happens is it'll relax this way. So on your rear sight, I don't know if you can see this right here, you have to move her over a little bit. There's supposed to be a line there. I might have actually painted over it. Yeah, I painted over it. Can just sputtered all over it because I had to work with it as fast as I could. Couldn't have that much left. So when these guys relax, they relax like this. And when that happens, you got to move the rear sight over that way. It's a tad bit. And then you'll be right true to your sights. You know, a lot of people don't know that. But your Glocks will actually relax set to the left. So all the Glocks in the world, regardless of how much you pay for them or who fits the barrels, they all will shoot left. No matter what, they will always shoot left. If you're hitting straight on, it's probably because you figured out a way to compensate for it. Most people eventually compensate for relaxed sets on a particular firearm that they spend a lot of time with. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, so. All right, guys. You have a good day. Catch you later. Bye.